Hello and welcome to the Contented Narrative once more. So this week we're looking at The Clockwork Girl by Anne Mazzola. Now, this one was a slow burn. I'm not gonna lie, there was a point where I was getting a little bit, not bored of it, but when you've got to keep reading and you're like, will you just get to the good part? And it follows your main girl who, I mean, it's set during, let me get the decade right, 1750 in Paris. And you've got Madeline, who's the main girl, whose mom runs a whorehouse, basically, and she was one of the girls. She's now got a scar across her face due to one of the men deciding to scar her. So she's no longer suitable for the job. And she ends up being hired by the police, who's working on behalf of some quiet benefactor, to go into this house where a guy who works with clocks, a clockmaker, that's the word I'm looking for, and his daughter live, as a maid, to basically try and figure out if he's an okay human being, because he's got these weird experiments and these weird rumors, and she's got to find out if he is as weird and as wonderful as they say, if he's dangerous and things like that. And then when it picks up, it just hits. Because on the backdrop of that as well, you've got these missing children. And it's like these two stories that are interlinked, but not in any way, shape or form that you would have thought that these stories would be interlinked. And I love the premise and I love reading it, and I got it for Christmas and it was absolutely lovely. As you can see, it's now been stamped by my official library stamp, because I am officially a library. But yes, I got it for Christmas and I thought I'd give it a go, and I was having a read and I was like, okay, it's all right. And then when it kicked in, I was like, well, damn. And I just kept reading and I couldn't put it down and I couldn't stop. And it's just, when it gets to the conclusion, like when everything starts playing into one another, and when everything starts resolving itself, you kind of sat back going, okay, I like how this ended. Well, I did anyway. I loved how it ended. I loved how the characters, sort of like how their natural stories ended. And sometimes as well, when you're reading books like this, you go, oh, I really, really wish I knew more about them. I wish I knew what happened afterwards. And I kind of felt like that for Madeline, because although the story concluded perfectly, I'd love to know if she got the life that she wanted. But it was unexpected. Like the one with the missing kids, like how that resolved was unexpected. How I thought it was going to work into the story is not how it worked into the story at all. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it gets a 4 out of 5, only because it was such a slow burn at the beginning and it did take me a little bit longer to get into. I'd say a couple of chapters before it starts getting a bit juicy. And then I think I was by page 100, 150 by the time I was like, oh, I can't put this down now. So that's why it gets 4 out of 5, because sometimes I like books to grab me straight away and just to keep me hooked. But this one, if I was one of those people that was like, okay, one chapter and I'm done, I wouldn't have read it. But I promise you, if you guys stick with this one, you will get such satisfaction and you will love the story. So please give it a read. In any of the formats that you like. Let me know if you've enjoyed it, if you've read it. If you thought it was a slow burn at the beginning, let me know that, because you might have thought that actually it starts really well and it hooks you from page 1, but it took me a little while to get into. So, but leave it below in the comments. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything that I'm saying. But thank you so much for your continued support, and remember to always keep it contento.